Yay! Okay. For some reason, lots of little technical difficulties today. But here we are. Please let me know that you're here. Say hi. If you're on the replay, say replay so I can send you a little love. Also, I want to know if you can hear me okay because I have a new microphone. Well, it's an old one, but used in a long time. Also, there is a lot of noise still going out outside my window, and they're doing a beautiful job in our yard. Beautiful. But there's sawing and there's hammering and all of that. So excuse that noise. Okay? All right. Uh, okay, so if you're watching the replay, today I would like to do, every morning I actually spend time with the Lord and I get ideas, things that I feel like are needed to discuss this particular day. So today, I actually was seeking Him about something not related to any of this, and it proved to be a wonderful example of how God speaks to us and answers us. And I'm sure you might have your own way. All right. You might have your own way, which is awesome. I'm just going to show you and teach you mine. And if you want to join along, please get a journal or in a quiet space. And right now, it's not quiet here for me, but I am so practiced I can do this anyway. And a lot of noise, actually. Hi, Neil. Good to see you. Hi, Diana. Good to see you. You guys let me know if you can hear me okay, because I had some technical problems. See me okay. And as time goes on, you might be hearing, not at this very moment, but just a couple minutes ago, they're doing a lot of sawing and hammering outside. Please let me know if this is distracting. Okay. I can't do anything about it, but let me know if it's distracting. I'm going to try to, I always say this, don't I? I'd like to make this kind of short today. It is Saturday. I want you guys to be out and about doing what it is. Can you hear that now? That's the saw. All right. Is it bothering you at all? Oh, righty. Well, I'm assuming it's okay. But we're just going to keep on going anyway. All right. Do the best we can. How's that? So, Heavenly Father, I just ask that in all of this, all this noise, that whatever it is anybody came here to hear, they're going to be getting what they need, that your love is just going to flow to them directly through me, all around them. And I just thank you that you are our God and that you love us so much. In your name we pray. Jesus, amen. All right. Thanks, Neil. Thanks. It's the sound of business in progress. It is. And you're probably used to it because you work at a home improvement store too, don't you? Yeah. So, what time is it? Oh, okay. One more minute. One more minute. How are you guys doing? Anything interesting on this Saturday? Tomorrow's our daughter's birthday. So we've got a bunch of us that are going out for dinner tonight. We're having Persian food. That was the choice, the cuisine of choice. So looking forward to that later. Yeah. Hmm. Last Saturday, we didn't get that many people to show up, but people watched it afterwards. So yeah, I never know sometimes if this is hitting the mark or what, but yeah, 15 more minutes, 15 more seconds, and we are going to start. What I was saying, hey Kim, good to see you. I would really love it if you guys got maybe something to write with, because I'm going to do an exercise with you if you're able to. Okay. Oh, good, honey. Thank you. Kim is settling in with coffee and chocolate chip cookies. Your sauna's heating up. Ooh, that's nice. Oh no, that's Neil. Neil. I was going to thank you for San Francisco rain. Wait a minute, that's Neil. Hey, quick tip. Quick tip here. I meant to give this to you guys last week. So I want you to know this thought that came to me really around the time that I had that massive money meltdown. All right. And it's about money. When money goes out, when bills, you have to pay bills, sometimes it can be a worry, it can be a depletion of your energy. But something that helped me and has continued to help me ever since is when I have to pay a bill, let's say the electric company. You can have the thoughts about the electric company like, oh my gosh, they charge so much. They're such a monopoly. I don't have any choice. And all the negative vibes can come forward about that. However, I want you to think about it this way. Every time you make a payment, think about love going out. Love going out with your payment. All right? You receive and then you give. You receive and then you give. So when you think about paying your electric bill, think about all the families that are working for the company, and the families that your contribution is helping to provide, right? Just a little tidbit. It might be a little switch in your mind and help you feel better about when you have bills to pay. I know it has helped me. All right, so let's get started here. So here's the situation. Just a very practical situation about how hearing God's voice can settle your heart. It can give you clarity. It can help you refocus and redirect your efforts. All right. When you hear God's voice, you're hearing love's voice. You're hearing love's voice. Now, when I hear God's voice, I hear it through a filter of favor. I want you to write that down. A filter of favor. All right. So every time I know that I'm going before God and I'm asking Him to just erupt within my heart, within my mind, speak to me inside, I know that I am getting favor. I'm getting favor because I only think of God as love. I only think of God as love. And with love comes favor. With love comes grace. With love comes wisdom. With love comes provision, right? God's love contains everything we could want and more. So when I go to God's voice, I expect that I'm going to get some kind of solution, idea, joy, input. All right. And I did. So today, here's the situation. And one more thing I want to say about that. It's easy for me to get a word now because number one, I don't second guess it. Long That is probably not God. All right. Remember, I said we want to hear God through a filter of favor because you have favor with God. You do. You have favor with God. So the situation today was it has to do with the yard. Originally, we had a plan to put a platform and pavers over to one side of the yard. And then things happened where it didn't seem like that was a good idea. We'd have to pull out some plants. There was a tree we put back there. Oh, gee. Was I frozen a long time? I'm wondering if I need to go back and say what I saw. Lost you at God's voice. Okay. Thank you, Diana. All right. So what I was saying about hearing God's voice is this. I hear God through a filter of favor. How you view God. If you look at God and view God as scary, as finger wagging, as, the 2x4, those kinds of voices, those kinds of presence, if you have that kind of presence, right? Then chances are when you go to hear God's voice, you're not going to hear pure love. You're not going to hear favor. You're not going to hear God's wisdom. You might hear condemnation. You might hear scorn. You might hear nothing, right? So basically, in order to hear God's voice accurately, you want to be able to hear God from a place of love and favor because that's what He's going to give you. You want to be able to hear that. Years ago, I wasn't sure. Was that God's voice? Was it my voice? Was it the enemy's voice? Whose voice? Was it my mother's voice? Right? And it made me wobbly. It made me wobbly. It made me double minded. I would love you to today assume that it's God's voice. All right? Assume that it's God's voice when we do this exercise. Okay? So the situation that I presented today, is this. And the more you do this, the more you are going to be able to block out noises. Like right now, there's a lot of activity going on, and there was this morning, but I've gotten really good at tuning that out. And so I had this question. I was struggling with something, and it had to do with the yard. We wanted a pad of pavers put on one side of the yard, but that wasn't actually possible once they actually started installing it. So they put it over the other side of the yard, and they put it on the other side of the yard. I wasn't sure if that was actually going to be where I wanted it to be, but they did it anyway, and I gave them the go ahead. And then that means we got to take out some other trees. There was a whole bunch of things mixed up in all of this. And they're here and they need a decision, right? So I decided to go to the Lord. I sat down. I set my timer. Just take my phone. I set my timer for 10 minutes. That's it. Just 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, I started off with some breathing. You just get really quiet. I asked the question. And the question is, what do you think, Lord? What do you think? And when I was doing that, I got a word from God immediately. And what He did was He actually showed me what my real issue was. All right? That's what sometimes can happen. There's clarity and there's freedom. And so in order for us to do the movement of the pavers and the pad, I would have to take out a palm tree that we had just planted, and we spent quite a bit of money to plant it, but it's not doing well. It's not doing well. So this is what I heard. Your thinking is finite. You're really concerned about wasting the money you spent. And that was true. But that isn't where you wanted the palm anyway. You see, God can get very specific here. Where we placed it isn't really where I wanted it anyway. Get what you truly desire, Marianne. You are free. You are abundant. I am always working on your behalf, so don't worry. And because we have been using credit to do a lot of the work here, a lot of the work we've already paid off since we moved in, but moving into a new place is kind of expensive. All the furniture has been paid for, but some of the more expensive things, especially this yard, would have to be put on credit. And I wasn't feeling good about that. Yes, I like that, Divine Landscaping Services. So I presented it to the Lord. I have put things on credit and the money doesn't seem to, I'm afraid about the future is really what it was. Please advise. And God said, get back to love, Marianne. You carry my treasures of wisdom. No, get back to love, Marianne. Love provides for all debt. I've taken all your debt, emotional debt, sin, mistakes, all of it. I know your heart. And then these words were spoken. Let love work wonders for you. Let love work wonders for you. Ooh, that blessed me. Let love work wonders for you. Then he continued, you are my treasure, and you carry my treasures of wisdom and knowledge. It is your doubt that gets in the way. My love is complete. It is perfect. It is pure. All the blessings and more are contained in my life and love. Just ask and you shall receive. So, anybody want to do a 10-minute exercise here? Let me know. You know, while you're thinking about that or responding, I say to the Lord, yes, yes, Lord. And he reminded me of Esther. And in Esther, the king said to her, because she had favor with the king, he said, ask, and up to half the kingdom is yours. Yeah, up to half the kingdom is yours. So, you know, we have a big God who has a big heart toward us. It's back. I'm back. I don't know what's happening with my internet these days. Yesterday was a problem too. Might need to be reset. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do our 10 minutes. Um, I think I told you about Esther, that God has, you heard that God, we have a big God with a big heart towards us. And if Esther, the king was able to give Esther half up to half his kingdom, how much more for us, right? Do we believe it? Do we believe it? Right? As your faith is, so be it unto you. That's what God says. As your faith is, so be it unto you. So, all right. So, what I'm going to do is this is the setup. All right. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And then we're going to breathe. We're just going to breathe for a little bit. I want you to ask God a question. I want you to ask him a question, something that you would like insight about, clarity about. Okay? A reassurance about, encouragement about. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel led to ask him about, ask him about. Now, God may not answer that question. He may have a question he answers or a thought that's underneath that. So be prepared. It could be anything. It could be anything. And when you're done, all right, when we're done, it would be awesome if some of you shared what you heard, or you can tell me behind the scenes, whatever. But, and some of you might get to the point of saying, or might have the experience, I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. My mind kept swirling. That's okay. That's okay, right? But I would like you to try it again at some point. I have read many, many books. I've done a lot of studying on hearing God's voice, on contemplation, prayer, on coming to that sense of oneness. All right? God is here for you. God is here for you. All right. So let me set my timer. All right, let's begin. Just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. In your heart, ask God your question. And now just wait. Thoughts will come to you. Every thought you think, don't think of it as a distraction necessarily. All right? And if you're hearing something immediately or you want to write it down, write it down. I oftentimes will hear something and then I'll forget. So I start writing, and sometimes God gives me something way before the 10 minutes, way before the 10 minutes. Thank you, Kim. All right. Ask God the question. Just relax. Just keep breathing. 10 minutes is a short period of time, but it might happen even shorter. I turned off I muted so that you didn't have to hear the sign, but thank you, Kim, for that. So, yeah, word. My husband, encouragement to keep excited about new learning, about Old Testament, New Testament connections. Keep experiencing coherence. Enjoy your new class. It will open to you more about me. Oh, good. My hubby's taking a certification class in heart coherence, the brain and the heart coherence, stress and anxiety and self-regulation. Some of you don't know this, but hubby is a former FBI agent who took down one of the baddest mob bosses in the country, um, and is also has his doctorate in ministry. Yeah, he's a very interesting man. Anyone else have um, any interesting words, insights, whatever? It doesn't matter. Don't feel embarrassed or judge it, and it's too big, it's too small, it's something, right? How did that feel, dear, to get encouragement? Kim Hurd, relax and manage what you have well. Does it help, Kim, to hear from God to relax? To relax. You have permission to relax, right? Anyone else? So for Gene, he felt it was renewing and exciting. Lovely, lovely. You know, renewal and excitement gives you that high vibe energy, right? Diana, oh my gosh, what a fabulous download. I asked God for encouragement regarding my familia relationships. He said they are earthy and He's eternal. I'm curious to see what that means to you. Awesome. Kim, yeah, I hear from God, but I always second guess and then I go back for reassurance. That's okay. As long as you're getting it, go back for reassurance. Sometimes, we have to hear things a number of times. One of the things I was always reminded of in Second Peter was he says, you have forgotten. You're not achieving the things in life. You're not feeling the things in life that God has given to you because you have forgotten that you are completely free. You have forgotten that you're completely forgiven. You've forgotten. Yeah. Then he assured me I'm also still going to be used by him. Bonus. Awesome. So, obviously you had a question about that. And maybe that wasn't your question you were asking God, but he knew you had a question about that. And there you go. Right? Anna says, a lot of my life feels small and unfinished, but I have a big God and big friends. Yeah, our life can feel that way. It can feel sometimes like we're not doing enough, that what we have accomplished isn't like such a big deal, right? But God always has more in store for us. It ain't over till it's over. Neil says, I don't get audibles, I get visuals. That's awesome. I made my statement. I stepped away and reflected on a time I gave it to God, and it was perfectly solved. Then I got a little movie about the solution to my questions. Then I moved beyond to a bigger, longer situation. Pictures came. Not perfect resolution, but good stuff. Great. Keep at it, Neil. Keep at it. Because, even the not perfect resolution, not the complete answer. All we're looking for is a little step in the right direction, a little tweak in the perspective, a little just a little something goes a long way. So we want to just press in, you know? That's awesome. Visuals are great. Visuals are great. I love getting visuals. God can communicate with us in all kinds of ways, all kinds of ways, as long as we know that we are worthy. And there we get back to worthiness. We are worthy of his communication. We are worthy of his communication. Yes. It will take time, but the ice is breaking. I can feel it. Ooh, I love that. Love that. Jean says, I know Anna's life is not small. So right. It could be, Anna, you thinking you have to stay small or be small for whatever reason, but you have big ideas, Anna. You have immense intelligence, creativity. We believe in you. Yeah. So anyone else? I think that's pretty much anyone that was on the call here. Well, listen, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you guys for coming. Going forward, what I received this morning was to focus on favor. Going forward, I'm going to focus on favor. Remember, to reign in this life, we have to receive an abundance of grace and favor, an abundance of grace and favor, and the free gift of righteousness, which is approval. We have to know deep in our hearts that we have already got God's approval. We already have his approval. All right. It doesn't go with the wind. It isn't based on maybe I do something right, then I do it wrong, so I lost his approval. Who you are, you always have his approval. All right. We're on a journey here, and nobody's expecting to get the journey perfect. We are perfect, but it's our perfection that is just kind of like flowing out of us as time goes on. All right. Let's be patient with ourselves, give ourselves a lot of love, right? Love on whatever lies. Well, anyway, focus on favor starting tomorrow. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you for coming. And thank you for all the interruptions. No, not thank you for all the interruptions. Thank you for your patience while we had the interruptions. All right.